Welcome to day 9, everyone. And today is a really, really powerful one. Yeah, I'd say one of the most triggering ones, because you have to be honest with yourself now. So become the observer is the theme, and observing the ego. All the thoughts that we have throughout our day, a number of those thoughts, 95% is suggested, are the same as yesterday. They're repeated thoughts. They're automated. In many instances, they're not our thoughts. It's a collective shared thought, collective consciousness passed on. So our ego comes in many shapes and sizes. Remember, anything that's not our truth is ego. And as we go on this journey, we will bring a lot more awareness to the ego. When we observe other people, we notice the ego go off from different levels. Ego can get quite aggressive, quite nasty, quite spiteful. They push your buttons. They really test your nerve at times. So today we're just going to pay attention to all the different things that we classify as ego. So it's kind of going to be like a brainstorm. And again, what is your brain a storm? It's the ego, it's the noise. So grabbing a pen and paper, I'd like just to jot down everything like a brainstorm. So you're going to give yourself space in each one. So anything that's not your truth is your ego. Any thoughts, any words, any labels, any of the opinions of others is all ego. None of that is a truth. Remember, your feelings are a truth. Soul. And soul becomes the head of the mind. Ego. Soul set the mind, as we've gone through. Yet our mind gets in the way. We overanalyze, we overthink, we overcomplicate. That's all mind. Again, none of that's a truth. If it does not feel right, it's not your truth. So, let's just write down a few. Ego. So what do we often identify as ego? Oh, they got such a big ego. What is that? A show-off. Selfish. Self-centered. So write all these down. Remember, as we go on this journey, anything that's not a truth is an ego. It doesn't mean that everyone shares the same attributes of ego. There's different levels. But we've got to bring awareness to it. Remember, what we notice versus what we get triggered on all becomes our teachings too. When you bring awareness to the other's ego, because it's all done on energy, intimidation, emotions, blackmail, guilt, blame, all of that is to try and get a reaction from your ego. If we pay attention to the words that people use, you should do that, you need to do this, you are not doing that. If it's always pointing at someone else, you're, that's ego. You're telling someone else what they need to do, what they should be doing. Who are you to tell them? And again, if you listen to the words from you or other people, me, I, mine, I've done this and I've done that, and if I was you, that's ego. When people talk about us, we, our, that's soul, it's all inclusive. So even a great way to look at that, even if you're speaking ego and you realise, I'm speaking about myself, I'm speaking about them, in that conversation, finish off with the truth. Let's talk about us. Let's turn it inwards. The self-doubt, self-harm, self-neglect, selfless. We diminish ourselves with the words that we use on ourselves. Negativity, ego. Positive is the soul. All the labels that we attach ourselves to. I'm so organised. I've got ADHD. My cancer, my anxiety, my depression. I am a liberal. I'm a conservative. I'm an academic. I'm a model. They're labels. Yesterday we went through roles that we play. And the characters that we play in those roles, ego. Sometimes we let that character take over our life, it consumes us. And there's certain people that end up playing that character their entire life, because if they stopped doing it, people would see the difference. Mr. Professional all the time, Mr. Corporate all the time. They play the role so much. Because if anyone saw the difference of them as their true self, they would see. So keep writing things down as they come up. It'll get you thinking. How many people have you been to work with? A relationship, a friend, and you get to know them, you like this person, and all of a sudden they're around their mum and dad, they're around a new business colleague, there's a new lady that just walks into and they change, and you're looking at them like, what? Well, they're rude, or they're spiteful, or they're all hello. They're changing all the time. That's not who they are. Ego. We play different roles. Here's one for you. Anything to do with thoughts or opinions. Something that's not factual. An opinion, that's a thought. So the opinions of others is ego. Instantly, as soon as they think about something or they have an opinion about you, that's ego. So it's not a truth. Which means you do not have to accept that as a truth. Especially if you get triggered by it. That's your ego. But if you know that their words from the very start is just ego, then you can protect your energy from those words. You let it go straight past. Let's look at just energy in a conversation. Someone is agitated. Someone's angered, someone's miserable and grumpy. Is that a truth? If we're souls? No, it's ego. Turn it on you. How many times have you been Mr. Grump or Mrs. Grump? And you realise, why am I being grumpy to this person? They haven't done anything. And you go and say, look, I'm sorry. Shouldn't have acted like that. I've just had a bad... That's at that moment you got caught in the ego. Imposter. The opinions from others is such a powerful one. Because we all on this call can admit we've definitely been influenced by others. We definitely worries what others think, or what they might say. Ego. Here's a big one. FOMO. Straight away, if you ever any FOMO at all, you know instantly it's ego before you even know what you're FOMOing about. Why? What's the first word on FOMO? Fear. Fear of missing out. Fear, missing out. How are you missing out on anything? You're living. As soon as you go into fear, that's an ego state. Fight or flight. So again, pay attention to the things we get attached to. What about the way we look? The things we buy? That self-gratification. That approval. Being accepted by others. We buy clothes to fit in. We buy some technology just because everyone else has it. Don't even want it, but I've got to get it anyway. It's a cool thing to do. I spend ridiculous amounts of money on things that I don't even know what I'm getting. I've done that before. That's all ego. Some of the worst nights out with my boys when they'd spend money on bottles of champagne. What are we doing? Why does that happen? Ego, influence. What about judgment? Spiteful thoughts. Bitchy comments. All ego. We don't know who we're judging. We don't know what happened to them at school, how they were raised, what they had to endure. We don't know anything about them. So who are we to judge? That judgment is an insecurity on ourselves somewhere. That ego judgment will go off. Don't get me wrong, it goes off inside. That's part of the awareness. However, it doesn't come out into the open. Remember, your body is the human experience. Your soul is energy. As soon as it leaves your body, it's your spirit. That then becomes a truth. That then becomes karma. That goes out into the universe and that will come back to you. Gossiping. Ego. Let's go back in our past. How often do we gossip about someone else? We don't even know where it comes from. Someone just starts talking, we get caught in that and end up joking and messing about and stuff, saying spiteful thing. You're still putting it out there. You still now have a reputation for gossiping. It's one of the most draining forms of wasting our energy. Gossiping. All ego, all judgment. How often do we have a preconceived idea about someone else just because we've been told about them? We haven't taken the time to find out ourselves or even do the research ourselves. We just take it for granted. Ego. What about playing the nice guy? Don't want to step on anyone's toes. The builders, they continue to be late. They continue not to show up. But it'll be all right. They'll come back next time. They've left midday. They've got a few hours left. Oh, I'll let them off this time. That's ego. We worry about how others deal with our truth. Our truth is they're getting paid. They're not turning up. And when they are turning up, they're doing a half day. That frustrates me. That's getting annoying. It's annoying. I'm paying for this. It's your ego by not saying something, by not making a change, by not finding a solution. You just let it continue. Procrastination, ego. How many times do we put things off? We know we need to do it, but we put it off. We just leave it on our list. In fact, our list keeps building up, but we still leave that one. Why? A number of reasons. One, we know that task might take 2 hours. We don't have 2 hours. However, if you broke it down into 10 minutes and just get something done, it's still taking action. It still needs to be done. Ego. The more we leave it, the more it catches up with us. I had a breakdown like that. Massive one. I left everything, procrastinated, and in the end, it got so much, all that energy inside me, it had to come out. I weren't prepared for it. Ego. Escapism. Ego. Alcoholism. Ego. Drugs. Ego. Trying to get away from us, our true self. Excuses. Ego. Yeah, but is ego. I can't, I don't, I won't. Ego. All excuses. Of course you can. You choose not to. Moaning. Ego. Can you see it's so much? Anything that's not your truth is an ego. That's it. That's so simple. Anyone point out what you haven't done or what you can't do or what you don't do properly, flip it. What am I doing right? Everyone can find the faults. It's easy. Remember, there's one truth, which means there's many, many, many faults. I need to. I should do. I have to. Ego. You're putting pressure on yourself. Here's one for you. Money. Ego. Time. Ego. Why? Because they're both ideas, they're both concepts. They're all created by the mind. Ego. So there's a whole list of things there. Go and watch your teenage kids, go and watch children. When they start getting to that age, they're finding their self. They put slits in their eyebrows, all different sort of haircuts, all different genres. Emo, grunge, punk, ego. They're trying to find themselves. They're trying to find what works for them. They play that as their character then. The isms. Ego. The division. Ego. The labels that we identify ourselves. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm vegan. Great, well I'm burger. I'm sausage. What are you on about? Why are you labeling yourself that? Ego, 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 ego. Think of it as onions. The more you're aware of it, at least you can now pay attention. It's a full spectrum, full layers, and what happens is when you go on this journey of truth, and the more you keep finding the truth, and then there's another truth, and you keep learning, the people closest to you, their ego's going off, because they know that the more you stand in your truth, the further away you go from them. They don't want that, so they're going to have to change. So half the time we don't want to take the attention to ourselves, so we blame other people. We put pressure on others, we make others feel uncomfortable, we push their buttons, we do things out of spite. Really, that's all done out of fear. They don't want you stepping forward. They don't want you going on this journey. Because they have to change too. What I love about that though is that I know my truth now, and I know I'm going to continue on this truth journey. It's part of me. Yet every part of the journey now gets better and better and better. And I become an expert on everyone else around me, everything in my life. I become an expert because I'm observing it. I notice my own feelings, I put my own description on it, and then I watch it in action. I'm like, insight, soul slap. And then I see its repeated behaviour. And I can start navigating on this journey as the observer with no attachment. And then I become really, really aware of what still triggers me. And usually it's when I go back, again, that concept of time. The people I've known the longest. The people I've shared many experiences with. The people that I thought I knew really well. But remember, the person I was 10 years ago is not the same person today. None of us are. Yet our ego attaches still to the old person. We can change in an instant. You've all seen that on this course. There's shifts that take place straight away, and all of a sudden, different choices the very next day, different feelings, a different burst of energy. So we all can change. So if we get attached to the old people and still bring up the past, still bring up their faults, still remember all the things they didn't do, and with us, all the things that we messed up on, all the things that held us back, all the things that we're not good at, that I don't normally do, that's all ego, it's all gone. So I'm going to leave this song playing one more time, and everything that you've written down here, like you can see, if you can make more sense of each of them and bring up a time where you felt the ego go off. And all it does is just bring awareness. So as you go forward, you're going to know, whoa, hello ego, there you are again. And you can start having fun with the ego, because it becomes your teacher. Bring awareness to the frustration, because you will get frustrated, and just see what comes up for you. See if you can identify any of the things that you put down that trigger you more. Any of the things that you're still attached to. Any labels you still carry. I've got a bad back. I've got insomnia. Labels. You haven't got anything. You've got you, your being. Have fun with this. Write down everything. Again, it's awareness. A brainstorm of ego. From the words, to the body language, to the face expressions, to the tone of our voice. From the judgment to others to the judgment to ourselves. Being completely unconscious, completely talking about me. Look what I've done, look what I've had, look what I've got. Some people are so unaware that they do this. Just talk about themselves all the time. And I get to experience this a lot. I go into conversations now and I just listen. And I judge someone now. I wouldn't even say judge. I guess I make my decisions going forward. Do I like this person or not? Or flip it. Would I like to spend more time with this person? I judge that based on the questions that people ask me. And I've had so many experiences out here meeting new people. People in power positions, especially when it's in the government and stuff here, or running for government. running for Congress. I've met a lot of people. Some of them multi-millionaires, multi-billionaires. They don't ask any questions. They talk about themselves all the time. And it's a naming game. So I just watch. I just listen. I just wait, and then I hit them with questions, meaningful questions. So the ego's just got tired. Then I see what comes out next. It's great to watch. So enjoy this now. Just notice what comes up. Become the observer.